So, Benjamin Hofmann, PhD candidate in International Affairs of the University of St. Gallen. First of all, congratulations to your second place. How does it feel? Describe your feelings.
Well, I'm a bit overwhelmed because actually I participated in this essay competition purely out of interest to join the Symposium, not to really win. But I'm happy that many people often or apparently think that this is an important idea or a creative idea.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you came across your idea of saving liberalism by governance through Global Hanses?
I came across my idea, first of all, by observing the changes in the political landscape that we are experiencing right now. So to me it seemed obvious that liberalism is in severe crisis, so we should do something about it. And when I read about disruption dilemma, I immediately thought I should contribute. And somehow this idea of cities and regions connecting to each other always appealed to me, and the example of the Hanseatic League is something that inspired me.
You mentioned the current developments like Brexit or a populist president of the United States who is also like challenging free trade. How would you counteract this development?
My idea is to sort of give both the liberal and also the less adaptive communities the possibility to find their own ways on how to deal with globalization. So the idea is not to impose a liberal agenda on less adaptive communities, rather it's creating a fast track for those that want to continue along this path, and then you should give the others the resources to develop their own models on how to cope with globalization. And then we will have to see what the results are of this non-liberal agenda, right?
Yeah. Can you describe a little bit more the key characteristics of such global Hanses you found appealing and worth to consider and to implement in your idea?
So Global Hanses connect global cities and regions to develop joint policies on collective challenges. These collaborations of cities and regions should be democratic. They would also be overlapping, right? It's not to say that every Hanse has to govern everything, right? It's more about creating competing entities where cities can join, tailored to their needs.
And let's say you fulfill or fulfill this your idea, and what would be like your go-to-market strategy? What would be the next steps to take to get this movement going?
Well, I think one could spend hours and weeks and years on thinking about how to implement that. We shouldn't be too concerned with developing a full-fledged plan. I think it's more important that some cities and regions that are ready to go in this direction join forces and start in a rather small area. It can be digitalization, right, which is not a a topic where public opinion is really defined, but where it enables certain cities to go forward. And I think if you start with something, then more will develop out of it.
Last question: can you maybe describe how your last days at the St. Gallen Symposium were, and how maybe your idea also changed through feedback with others?
Yeah, I enjoyed the last few days a lot. I mean, I'm a bit surprised about the different views on the current changes going on. It seems that some people even want to push liberalism to its extremes, right? It's the liberal land idea we heard about, and then others, including Lord Griffiths, are very aware of the problems that our current world has. My idea has been challenged a lot, and I've learned about the weak points, right? I'm fully aware that I've not developed a policy agenda for communities that struggle with globalization, but I also believe that we should reserve them the right to decide on their way.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.